But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Wright play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
The Other Things Podcast, episode 11. We made it. Past the single digits. I'd say our podcast
it was like
made it.
a journey.
I mean, it has been a journey.
A little bit.
Where we sit here and talk about things.
It's been a journey of discovery.
We'll get right into it. We have a lot of topics to cover today.
Yes,
we have a lot of them coming back that we hadn't talked about in a long time, like all things games, and some others. We got tech. Well, we had a lot of tech last time, but we got a lot of entertainment. It must be just the time of year or whatever else. So let's get right into it. All things entertainment. We have the big game coming up. We all know what we're talking about, but for some reason we can't say what it's actually called. But what do you think about the hype so far? We have the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos.
Right, I'm originally from Indianapolis, and so I'm a big Peyton Manning fan.
Yeah.
When he went to the Broncos, I've still been a fan of his.
Absolutely.
And I know that he's going to retire soon because he's very old and he's dealing with a lot of injuries. Not just injuries that have happened recently, but like injuries that have happened a while ago that are still kind of affecting him. So I honestly want to see him win one more and then leave on a high note.
That would really be wonderful. I am definitely on the Broncos.
It was also really, really cool to see the Patriots lose.
It was great. Hey, any Super Bowl where the Patriots are not the AFC representative, it's a good day. It's a good day. We all know, well, unfortunately in your case, that the NFC will probably end up winning this game, but I'm definitely in the Broncos bag. I'm saying that Peyton Manning, give the man his last ring, let him retire with his dignity after, he lost terribly to the Seattle Seahawks not so long ago. But yes, absolutely give the man his ring. They just had their media day the other day, which is always just a fun, weird time where we have like a week's worth of content all day, 24/7 about this one football game.
Yeah.
And really just it means a lot to just this whole nation. We don't have anything that we sit down and do much anymore. It used to be like everyone would gather at the same time and watch MASH, but this is just kind of the one thing where everyone comes together as we come together as a nation. It's a huge thing.
Speaking
and it
of
lives up to
things that the nation comes together to watch.
Absolutely. Game of Thrones is coming up. We have a new trailer that came out. It came out semi-recently. It is a teaser. I wouldn't call it a trailer. But here's a little clip from that. There's a Stark banner flying in the wind.
Winterfell is mine.
All messed up.
Come and see.
You hear there Ramsay Bolton's voice, which is just kind of ominous. He's kind of become
I want that guy to die.
He's become the new enemy or the new bad guy in the in the series.
He's definitely an evil dude, but I'm super excited for season 6. Game of Thrones, I've gone back and watched a lot of their earlier episodes because my parents, who had never seen Game of Thrones before, I got them season 1 on DVD for Christmas and they loved it. So they've been having me come and watch and kind of explain things in earlier seasons and episodes. It's really hard not to tell them what's happening right now.
Absolutely, and Game of Thrones is just really good at just captivating audiences and bringing them in.
Right.
Really just taking them for a ride emotionally and everything else too.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Let's move right on forward. Brock, what's coming up?
Next, we are going to talk about a video game that I saw, and I've talked to somebody who played a demo of it. It's not released yet, and we'll see what they thought about it.
This game sounds like a lot of fun, but the Other Things podcast is produced at Open Box Strategies in Brookfield, Wisconsin. Open Box Strategies is a website design, video production, and online marketing firm that delivers fixed-fee, value-based creative projects and never for an hourly fee. Jumpstart your marketing today. Call 262-825-6993 or visit openboxstrategies.com. All right.
Okay.
Drawn to Death. I believe that is the name of this. Explain this a little bit.
This is by a game creator who's done some games that a lot of people have heard of. God of War, probably the biggest title.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of the game is a multiplayer shooter
Okay.
/ action. Basically, though, the cool part about the game is the art style.
Okay.
So imagine if you doodled in your notebook in high school, I'm assuming. Everybody does.
No, I never did that.
To some extent, I think everybody doodles and
Absolutely.
knows what it means to doodle.
Yes.
And just imagine if all the doodles in your book came to life and you could play them as a character in a video game and go through.
Interesting.
So the enemies that you're fighting, they're not... It doesn't look like Call of Duty graphics, super
Right.
high res, super realistic, but it's artistically styled in a way to make it look like, it's literally something that's drawn to paper that's come out of the paper and come to life.
That's interesting.
I talked to one of my friends on Facebook who went to PCX, I believe, which is a game conference, and he got to get hands-on with the game about 2 years ago when it was still even in pre-production. He actually said that when he played it the night before, the people who made the game said it wasn't working. And they just got it working that day.
Wow.
And he said even at that stage, he had a lot of fun playing it. It was really cool, and it brought back a lot of the themes and control styles of older games. So I'm really excited to see that. And that's going to be coming out on all platforms, I think. PC, PS4, Xbox One.
Wow.
Even PS3 and Xbox 360. So Drawn to Death is the name of the game. Check it out online. There's definitely some playthroughs that you can check out on YouTube.
Absolutely. That one sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Another one that sounds like a lot of fun. We got Lego Star Wars, The Force Awakens Star Wars.
Right. If you haven't seen this trailer yet, definitely go check it out. It came out today, the day that we're filming this.
Yeah.
And it's basically like the other Lego Star Wars games, but it takes place, from the scenes and events of The Force Awakens. And also the animation has gotten 100 times better.
Well, yeah, since Lego started making their first video games, it's obviously gotten a lot better. But Lego also has really brought their characters to life. As just, they have the characters from the movie that they're emulating, in this case Star Wars, and then they're just kind of making this funny or goofy element to
they
go
have a
along
certain
with
brand of Lego humor that's kind of funny-ish and silly, and
more of a slapstick,
right? And I like it. And the other thing is too, it's really popular with younger kids,
right?
And Lego is one of those game franchises where parents can have their kids play it and not be worried about them being exposed to anything,
absolutely,
that they maybe not wanted to. So, definitely awesome marketing move for both Lego and Star Wars, because anytime they come out with Lego sets or video games, they can make vice versa. So if they come out with a video game, they can release more sets. It's all just going to be causing more profit for Disney.
Disney and Lego. So
yeah, that too. But
there you go.
The Lego Star Wars games are fun. Check that out again if you haven't seen that.
Absolutely, the trailer is just kind of based on the Star Wars trailer.
It's the Star Wars
it's essentially
trailer.
They did it not scene by scene, but they did certainly some very, what's the word?
Reminiscent?
Yeah, you can pick out things that they did, certainly.
Yeah, definitely.
The BB-8 rolling across the sand there.
The Millennium Falcon scene.
The Millennium Falcon flying through with the TIE fighter shooting at it. Lots of other things that you can identify straight from the trailer. All right, coming up, we have the movie 13 Hours, and we're talking about The Revenant.
Alrighty, guys. The Other Things podcast is produced at Open Box Strategies in Brookfield, Wisconsin. Open Box Strategies is a website design, video production, and online marketing firm that delivers fixed-fee, value-based creative projects and never for an hourly fee. Jumpstart your marketing today. Call 262-825-6993 or visit openboxstrategies.com.
All right. Brock, you recently just saw the movie 13 Hours.
Yeah, I went with my dad and my brother to go see 13 Hours, which is, of course, based on the events that happened in Benghazi in 2002.
Couple of really one big name I can think of in there. John Krasinski.
Who plays Jim in The Office. And the guy who plays Roy in The Office is also in there.
That's funny.
It is. And they all play contractors that were hired by the CIA to protect a secret CIA base, basically. looking up what actually happened, it's kind of hard to tell what actually happened in Benghazi because so much of that stuff is classified. But they stayed pretty true to, the events that happened. They obviously took some liberties. It's a movie.
Right. And Michael Bay, not
right.
that aside.
It wasn't too overdone for being a Michael Bay film,
really?
Actually, which was interesting.
He turned it down, I guess, a bit.
Right. But I did enjoy it. It was a great movie. It shows really how screwed up the country Libya is now.
Right.
Even, this is 14 years later, but right after they took out Gaddafi and there was a power vacuum, basically all of a sudden gangs sprang up everywhere, and it was that was really the birth of ISIS. So you're seeing kind of, the foundations of what has caused them to be in what the situation they are now.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I encourage you to go see it. I encourage anybody to go see it. It was a good movie. You'll definitely get your America feels going.
No, I'm one of those who doesn't like Michael Bay films. Should I still see it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's
There's
not too Michael Bay.
There are some Michael Bay explosions, but that's
well, okay. All right. I guess explosions aren't the worst thing.
Yeah.
After you mentioned it in our last podcast, went and saw The Revenant.
Yeah, what do you think?
I thought it was a very good film. Certainly very gritty. I like the cinematography
do you think he's gonna win
of all of it.
an Oscar for that? He's nominated.
He is nominated. We'll see. It's Leo DiCaprio. He's kind of cursed with the Academy. I feel like there are a few people who are just cursed.
And while this isn't like the example I always use is Castaway with Tom Hanks. While it isn't the extreme of just Tom Hanks on the screen for the majority of the movie,
right?
The majority of that movie, it's just him.
That's true.
In the wilderness, and he finds people along the way, and people help him obviously. Yeah. But it takes a really good caliber of actor to go out there by yourself, and also he did a lot of method acting for that, which is actually doing what's on screen. And the scene with the horse, which we don't need to go into detail, he did that in real life.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Which is insane and kind of gross, but impressive at the same time. But
now,
all over, I thought it was a really good film.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, just a real quick story. I went to go see the film, a few weeks ago, and we had that really bad cold snap. It was like negative. It went down to negative 20s at night.
You walked out of the movie
and I'm
theater
thinking, I walked out of the movie theater, and it's like, and I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't care if you're sleeping inside a horse. It was not this cold.
Yeah,
it was not this cold. I'm thinking it was probably like it got down to 15 at night.
I was reading some
there,
stuff online too, and they're saying that maybe one of the reasons, like if that actually happened to somebody and for somebody to survive, one of the reasons that would help you survive but also kind of hurt you is the cold, because the cold would actually make your blood that was bleeding out of your wounds freeze.
That's true.
So it would stop the bleeding, but at the same time you'd be getting hypothermia.
Right.
So yeah, that was just an amazing survival story. Again,
it really was.
Both of these movies you should definitely go see.
It was very gritty. The cinematography was just excellent. They did a lot of movies these days. It's funny. It's not funny. It's rare to see a shot that lasts longer than 4 seconds.
Yeah, lots of cuts.
In this one, it was just a lot of, the camera would walk through with you. There weren't a whole lot of cuts.
Mm-hmm.
It would be this scene, all these things happen, the camera's all pretty much going one shot. Then you would go to another scene, and that's all happening. And then you go to, it's kind of a series of really long one-take shots.
The story wasn't narrated, really.
No.
You just, it basically just started showing you things, and you had to kind of just try to start to put it together in your head. There wasn't Morgan Freeman in the background explaining to you everything that happened and why all this was happening and why he, had this Native American son and all this stuff. It was just kind of like, hey, here's what's happening. Catch up.
Right.
Which is something that I like about it.
It's putting a lot of faith into the audience that they can figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he died at the end? Because it cuts to black and it's just him.
Oh yes.
It's just him sitting there in the snow breathing.
He died. He fulfilled his purpose of living. I mean that was just kind of the end. I didn't as a viewer watching it, I don't need to see the conclusion of that. Yeah. He did what he set out to do. He should have died several times in the movie.
Like Inception, where it ends and you don't know exactly what happens.
Right.
So that's definitely a trope for him. But
oh, absolutely.
I thought it was really good.
Good.
So there's something that I want to talk about quickly. Has to do with marketing and branding.
Absolutely.
And all things tech.
Oh, yes.
Quickly, Facebook recently, as of yesterday, I logged on like I normally do. I do some Facebook management for OpenBox, and I also, have my own Facebook account. And when I logged on, I noticed that the Facebook symbol in the upper left-hand corner, where it usually is, just the little F in the box, was gone.
It's gone.
And I thought, well, maybe my, computer didn't load that image, or, something screwy. And throughout the day, it never reappeared, and it's still not reappearing. And that used to be the button that I always used to hit to go back to my news.
It's just kind of the Facebook all-powerful reset button.
Yeah, and it's really common for websites to have that. In your upper left-hand corner, a logo of your company that you can click to and go right back to the homepage. For some reason, Facebook has removed that. That might mean they're working on a new logo, they're rebranding. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they're trying to change how people navigate through Facebook. But interesting note. So keep an eye out on that.
That's just kind of how Facebook goes, is that they, instead of just doing, they used to do where they would just redo the whole thing and it was bam, there it is. Everything changed all at once. Now they seem to do, they'll meddle with this thing there. And they'll change that there.
Yeah.
And then they'll change this. And then they'll change it piece by piece. Oh, there it comes. It started. So, when we're all stuck and watching this tomorrow, we'll be like, hey,
we're going to have to Revenant track back to our houses.
Right.
Okay, but I'm more interested in talking about all things tech on what you found, which is kind of nostalgia.
Let's see if this brings back any feels, this sound.
Like every school computer I ever used,
yeah.
at least in like elementary and middle school for sure.
Right.
But
that is the sound of just about every computer in the 90s starting up.
So quickly before we talk about this, an emulator is a program that you can run on your computer that allows you to play file formats that you wouldn't normally be able to. Or also runs a program like another program. So that's how people can run an Apple OS operating system on a Windows computer.
Exactly.
And what you found is an emulator for Windows 95.
It is an emulator for Windows 95. It runs within your browser. So that's just kind of how far we came. We used to get like this big, clunky, desk computer thing, and it would, you turn it on and it would take forever to run. This runs exactly like 95 would, just in your regular internet browser. Still takes forever to turn on, still plays that music. And you can play some of your vintage games or use the original Microsoft Word. You got your Oregon Trail shirt on. You could probably play that on there.
Definitely.
I used to play Oregon Trail all the time on Windows 95.
I did too. Not at school though.
Never, no.
I honestly see this as something that I could go and be like, hey, Grandma. And then I would be able to put that up on her computer, and she would be much more comfortable using that than Windows 10. Windows 10 is confusing sometimes to me. I can't even imagine somebody who, is older trying to use that and, having those difficulties. So definitely interesting. If you want some nostalgia, go ahead and throw a Windows 95 emulator on your computer.
Absolutely.
But I guess we're wrapping things up real quickly. In the coming months, this week, anybody who likes the Venture Brothers cartoon series on Adult Swim Cartoon Network started a new season, the first season in years. Season 6 started this past Sunday. So check that out if you can. Once again, go out and see 13 Hours in the Revenant if you can as well. We have Super Bowl coming up as well.
Oh, you said it.
Oh, no.
You said it.
Oh, we're going to get sued.
The NFL guys are going to come after you now.
Nah, let them.
They're coming after you. Hey, if they're listening, hi, welcome. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for getting our viewership up.
Yeah, hey. Yeah, you're one more guy than what we didn't have before.
All right.
So, this has been another episode of the Other Things Podcast. We did this one really quick.
Good.
We've been getting long these past few times. But remember, life is a contact sport.